Good morning, children. Sairam. Today we'll do the concluding part of this lesson, En route to America by Nayantara Sehgal. We'll also do the vocabulary and grammar part of the lesson. We have seen in the story Nayantara and her sister Lekha going to America, and she was standing on the deck of the ship when the ship reaches Melbourne Harbour. She is thinking about Bombay Harbour. But just then, a stranger walks in. This man starts talking to Nayantara. Nayantara did not like it first, but then we find that they keep on chatting. The man keeps on asking about her parents, her country, and then wants to know why she is going to America. Nayantara tells that in India they have to promise that they should not fight for freedom. Then the man tells that he is an American soldier and he is coming back from the Pacific War. The Second World War he is talking about. And he cracks a joke. To that, Nayantara starts giggling. He says that she giggles like an American girl. Now let us see what happens next. I see. Then there must be hope for me. The young soldier laughed good-humoredly. I'm sorry if I have been too inquisitive, but honestly, I can hardly believe I am among human beings again. You can't imagine what it feels like to be going home after a year in the Pacific War. What's the meaning of inquisitor? Getting unnecessarily curious about other people's lives. She says that then there must be hope for me. That means, what is the hope she is talking about? That means India also can become free because Americans were free that time, right? The young soldier laughed good-humoredly, means he laughed cheerfully. And then he asked forgiveness that he was too inquisitive. He was too curious to know about people. And he can hardly believe that he has again come with the human beings. And then he said that it was very difficult, you can understand how it is to be in the Pacific War. Pacific War is talking about the Second World War. So he is very happy that he is back again with the human beings and he is talking to the human beings. I was suddenly ashamed of myself for the abrupt way I had been speaking to him. If he could come out of a war laughing and joking, there must be more to him than I had imagined. There must be something to a country that could produce young men like him. She was ashamed that she was talking to this person, the stranger, for so long. And she wondered that how can this person coming out of the war laugh and joke? Then she thought there must be something about the country as well, which is producing like this type of people. He interrupted my thoughts. I was thinking of what you said about India a while back. We Americans don't know much about the East. This war is teaching us a lot. Will you tell me more about your country? It was getting cold on deck, so we went back to the mess room to continue our talk about India and America. With this, we come to the end of the lesson. Let us have the value points of the lesson. Now, let us have some questions. Reference to context questions we have. A line is taken from the lesson. I could never send my children away from home so confidently and fearlessly in such circumstances. Who does the narrator have in mind when she says so confidently and fearlessly? It was her parents she was talking about. Which event in her life is she referring to here? She and her sister traveling to America alone in 1943 in a troop ship during the Second World War is the event she is talking about. What does she mean by such circumstances? She meant that the war was on. Now, children, we will start with the vocabulary and grammar activities. Please note, children, this is from page number 106 to 108. From the text, make a list of words or phrases related to the ship. Now all these answers you will write it in the classwork notebook itself, because there is no enough space on the textbook, right? Now you have to make a list of words or phrases related to the ship. That means whatever they have said, like the parts of the ship or the exercises what they were doing on the ship. So these are the words which are related to the ship. Amenities, seasickness, deck, cabin, mess room, bunks, voyage, porthole, having rhythm, submarine, disciplinary exercise. Next you have to write the words and phrases which talks about the people. So their looks, their personality or traits. That is the quality that forms a part of your personality. So these are the words which are there in the lesson. Apprehensive, helpless, efficient, rumbling laughter, gazed soulfully, companionable, ragamuffin, thoughtful, shy, wiry, etc. Now children, you have a homework for you. Now frame sentences using these words or phrases to bring out their meanings. Whatever words and phrases we have got from the lesson about the ship or the people, you have to frame sentences on these words to get the meaning. This you will write in the classwork. Now next we have explain these phrases and expressions in your own words. You may use a dictionary, but I have given the meanings of these phrases. Okay. This also you will write it in the classwork notebook. Let's see now. Uncontrolled hilarity. That is laughter which cannot be controlled. The airless cabin reeked of stale odor. That means stuffiness in a small, smelly cabin. There was a zigzag ocean in full view to taunt me. Yes, when Nayanthara went up to get fresh air, what happened? Out on the deck, due to the movement of the ship, the waves went zigzag. These appear to tease the narrator who wanted fresh air and freedom from motion. To make Hitler laugh up his sleeve. Hitler would have laughed secretly at the idea of fighting for freedom. He did not allow any such thing. Think of the ocean in poetical terms. The narrator would have to think of the ocean like a poet, not to be frightened of it. Certain expressions used by the narrator are contrasting in nature. Choose any one such expression and explain why you like it. For example, flimsy protection against the powerful ocean breeze. You may notice the contrast in this phrase. So, flimsy protection, very thin protection. That is no protection against the powerful ocean. Okay. So, here I have taken out one sentence. You can write any other sentence which you get from the lesson. One night I rolled right off the bunk onto the floor, much to my annoyance and Lekha's uncontrolled hilarity. When she fell down from the bunk, what happened? Lekha started laughing and the narrator got very angry. Now children, we will do grammar from your textbook. Okay. This topic already I have discussed in detail. You can refer to the grammar videos. But let us have a revision now. This is regarding simple, compound and complex sentences and the conjunctions which are used in the complex and compound sentences. Right? Now let us read these sentences. She dances very well. The train is late. What type of sentence? These are simple sentences. A simple sentence has the basic elements that make it a sentence. What are the basic elements? A subject, a verb, and a complete thought that can stand on its own. So here the subject is she, okay, and dances is the verb, okay, and then here subject is train and verb is, okay. A simple sentence is also an independent clause. It is referred to as independent because while it might be part of a compound or complex sentence, it can also stand by itself as a complete sentence. Now look at these sentences. They spoke to him in Spanish, but he responded in English. Monisha and Neeti reached the bus station at 10 o'clock and they took the bus before I arrived. Sohail and Pradeep took the bus before I arrived, so I did not see them at the bus station. Now what is happening here? Two independent sentences are joined by conjunction, coordinating conjunction, here and here, so, isn't it? So these are examples of compound sentences. So a compound sentence is made up of two independent clauses or complete sentences connected to one another with a coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions are easy to remember. If you think of the word fanboys, the acronym. So, for fanboys, how will you remember? F. F means, F stands for the word for. Then A and N, nor. B, but. O for or and Y, yet. S for so. So these conjunctions only you have to remember for compound sentences, right? Now let us go to complex sentence. Read these sentences. After eating dinner at the Cheesecake Factory, Joe went to the gym to exercise. My sister smiled when I made dinner. If you look at both these sentences, you will find that each sentence has an independent clause and a dependent clause. These are examples of complex sentences. Now let us see if you can find out which one is independent clause. Can you do it? Yes? Okay. So, independent clause is Joe went to the gym to exercise. Okay. Here you have to divide the sentence. Okay. Into two clauses and find out which one can stand on its own. So, Joe went to the gym to exercise is independent clause. When? After eating dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. So, after is the conjunction here, which is subordinating conjunction, right? And so, this part is subordinate clause, right? After eating dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. My sister smiled when I made dinner. So, find out main clause and subordinate clause. Yes, main clause is my sister smiled, and subordinate clause when I made dinner. And here, where is the conjunction? When. When is the subordinate conjunction which is joining the two clauses, right? So, what do we find? Here in the complex sentence, there should be one independent clause and a dependent clause. So, a complex sentence is made up of an independent clause and at least one dependent clause joined together by a subordinating conjunction. Some subordinating conjunctions include whenever, whereas, when, while, unless, until, because, than, that, though, before, who, which, where, after, since, and as. Remember this subordinating conjunctions. Now let us do the exercise. Identify these sentences as simple, compound, or complex sentence. The first sentence, life is wonderful. Here only one finite verb, right? Is. So here it is simple sentence. So you have to write S. If it is compound, you have to write CMP, complex, CPX. So here you will write S, simple. Then I don't know what to say. I don't know, it's main clause. What to say? Subordinate clause. So it is complex sentence. Then most people work hard to make a living. Here work hard to make a living. To make is infinitive. Okay. So work is only the finite verb. So it is a simple sentence. Now next one. Kavita works hard and wants to do well. Here we have the conjunction and. So and is, fanboys, right? So it is compound sentence joining the two independent clauses. In an effort to do well, she often forgets to rest and eat. Here only one finite verb, forgets. Okay. So and here to rest, non-finite, and eat is verb is there but it doesn't have a subject. So only one clause, right? So it is simple sentence. Assignments, homework and projects occupy her mind. Again one finite verb, occupy. So it is simple sentence. She becomes restless and loses her peace of mind. Becomes restless. So becomes is one finite verb and loses another finite verb, and so here it is joined by and. So it is compound sentence. She realizes that she must sleep as well. Here main clause she realizes, and subordinate clause that she must sleep as well. So it is complex sentence. She should study hard, but she should also get some rest. So here again two independent clauses joined by but. Remember fanboys? Study and rest will help her lead a balanced life. So here though study and rest, two verbs are there, two clauses are not joined, right? So it is simple sentence. Complete these sentences as indicated in the brackets using dependent or independent clauses. So here it is written in the bracket what you have to do, okay, and then accordingly you will write the sentence. Sally met her friend dash. So what is written in the bracket? We have to make a compound sentence. So Sally met her friend and talked for a long time. So and is there, compound sentence, right? Meena washed her hands. Bracket it is given compound, you have to make a compound sentence. So and started cooking. Then Ali owns a car dash. You have to make a complex sentence. Ali owns a car which is very expensive. So complex sentence. Mummy is very kind. We have to make a compound sentence. So you can write but very strict. It was likely to snow tomorrow dash. Complex sentence you have to make. Whereas it has started today itself. Then complex sentence. Dash Ela had a bath when? After coming from school. Teji walked to the market. Dash is given. Compound sentence you have to make. And bought some vegetables. Yani likes ice cream. Again dash is given. Compound sentence you have to make. But she dislikes soft drinks. Dash I adopted a cat. Complex sentence. As I like animals, I adopted a cat. Next sentence. They got wet in the rain dash. You have to make a compound sentence. Yet they continued to play. Next sentence. Dash Harsh painted a picture. Complex sentence you have to make. Since he had free time, Harsh painted a picture. I hope children you have understood the lesson. Vocabulary part and grammar part also you must have understood. So vocabulary part you will write it in the classwork notebook, and grammar part also you can write it in the classwork if you don't have the textbook. Otherwise you can write it on the textbook itself. So with this we come to the end of today's session. Thank you. Have a nice day.